Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be why you need to stay away from them. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So I'm referring to the narcissist, and this video will be why you need to stay away from them. You see, the narcissist is a person that does not have your best interest at heart. They didn't in the past. They don't now, and they certainly won't in the future. And it took you coming out of that narcissistic relationship, or right now perhaps you're developing an exit plan to remove yourself. It took you a lot to realize that, in fact, narcissism is prevalent and that perhaps you were and or are in a relationship with somebody who flat out doesn't care about you. I'll take it a step further. It's not only that they don't care about you, it's that they don't want you to exist. They don't want you to thrive. They don't want you to find your purpose. They don't want you to be your beautiful, bright, shining light that I speak about on the channel. The narcissist is a detractor. They're a person who was trying to take away from you. They were trying to zap your energy, your attention, your love, your empathy, your network, your social circle, your status, your friends, your hobbies, your finances. Everything that made you you, the narcissist wanted to take from you. Now, when you were in the relationship, you did not realize this. You knew that something was off. You couldn't quite put your finger on it. You knew that you were perhaps even taking notes on the relationship, which is a huge red flag. If you're ever in a relationship and you're taking notes about the person that you're in the relationship with, that is a really big red flag, but many of us have done just that. But back then, we did not know what narcissism was. We didn't know what we were up against. We were in a relationship that we thought was reciprocal, which meant that it was two people doing the exact same thing or helping each other out along the way of life. But lo and behold, a few things changed. One, we realized that we were probably footing most of the bill for that relationship financially. Number two, we realized that when our health took a hit, perhaps we had a medical concern, that the narcissist, and again, back then we didn't know they were a narcissist, that they were nowhere to be found. They would be disappearing like they always do in a time of crisis or in a time of need or in a time of support. But back then, we gave them a mulligan. We gave them a free pass. We let them just, okay, maybe they're having a challenging time themselves, because we did not know what we were up against. We weren't taught this in school. So again, when you're in the narcissistic fog and you're being devalued day in and day out, week after week, month after month, perhaps even decade after decade, it's a very challenging place to be, to say the least, because you're believing in the mask, you're believing in the narcissist, you're believing in the words that they're telling you, although their actions are not matching up to the words. And each and every time, it is like death by 1,000 paper cuts. But back then, again, you were giving them excuses. You were not trusting your instincts or your intuition, and you were ignoring red flags. But the more that relationship went on, you started to notice more and more things that were aligning with the narcissist. In other words, you were seeing patterns. You were seeing strange behaviors more and more frequently. You were being gaslit more and more. You were certainly being blamed for things you did or didn't do, or things the narcissist did or didn't do. I'm certain you were triangulated, which was my least favorite thing that these people do, which means the narcissist was putting other people in between you and them in the relationship on multiple different levels. I won't go into that in this video. You also were enduring the smear campaign throughout that relationship. Now again, you didn't know what any of those terms in the glossary of the narcissistic abusive cycle meant back then, but now you do, or you're understanding what they are, and you're also learning what projection is and mirroring and object constancy, and you're learning so much more about what narcissism is and how it affected you for a period of time. Back then, you didn't know what you know now. You are now becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you're understanding that you're a fortunate person. Now, you may pause the video here and say, how am I fortunate? I just got discarded, or I just realized I'm with a narcissist, or it's my mom or brother, sister, or a romantic relationship, who knows? How am I fortunate? I'll tell you how you're fortunate, because you're on the channel and you're getting the wisdom, and you will apply the tools when the time is right. If you're in the relationship right now, you're gonna need to create an exit plan. And this exit plan will be meant for you, by you, and to be executed by you, because we don't know who a flying monkey is quite yet, meaning if this is new for you, this video is new. And you will have to figure out a way to remove yourself, because 1 minute in a toxic narcissistic relationship, once you've identified that the person is toxic or a narcissist or even both, is 1 minute too long. These people only deteriorate over time. They do not improve. There has never been an instance of one narcissistic person improving over the course of their life. They deteriorate. They get nastier, meaner, more entitled. They play the victim. They play the power card. They withhold parental affection or parental alienation. They will hide anything they can. They hide assets, beach properties, money, anything they can, relationships. The narcissist is a shapeshifter, and what they wanted to do was take you down for the count. And I can assure you, they captured you for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, and probably even a little bit afterwards until you've healed or until you got that light bulb moment and you figured out what narcissism was. And then lo and behold, you begin to slow your life down. You begin to process things. You begin to heal childhood wounds. You begin to journal, to meditate. You begin to see a therapist. You begin to watch videos and write, and you understood, or you're beginning to understand, that the narcissist is not a good person, to say the least, and I'm being very polite. They care about one person, and it is not you, it is themselves. They don't care about their own immediate family members, their children, their parents. They don't care about anything other than consuming people and accumulating as much money and as many broken hearts as they possibly can. The narcissist is a petulant individual. They are spoiled, they are calculated, they are devious, they are hollow, they are shallow, they are cunning, and they are master manipulators. Now, when all those adjectives I just mentioned to you, they encompass what the narcissist is at their core. Now, each and every narcissist is not the exact level of another one. Their narcissism is on a spectrum, we know that. Not dissecting what each and every person is, but just letting you know that if you made it this far in the video, and if you're in the community, I can assure you narcissism has affected you for a period of time. That's why you need to stay away from these people. Because after time has passed, and after you have healed, and after the dust has settled, and let's say your finances have returned, you've fallen in love again, you've relocated, you've built up your network of friends or your support system again, your health has returned, etc. You started a new career, you're taking a class, teaching a class, reading a book, or writing a book. You are beginning to live your best life, or you are well on the way. When this happens, at times, the narcissist will rear their ugly head. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but it happens at times, because the narcissist, whether you know it or not, they are always watching you. They're always spying on you. It may not be directly, maybe it's indirectly. Maybe it is through a flying monkey. Maybe it's through a bogus account they have on social media and they're stalking you or watching you that way. I can't tell you. Many people have reported that the narcissist has actually tracked them via smartphone, or put bugs in their cars, etc., or tap their house and with cameras and all that, and I understand everything. But my point is, if you've relocated and started your life fresh again, and you've exited the cocoon of boundaries, and you've processed things, and you're now entering, or you have entered, the third version of you, the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind, you've done the heavy lifting. You've had the sleepless nights. You've cried. You've perhaps experienced the angry stage. You've journaled. You've done everything you had to do to process the relationship and to realize there was no other way. You had to go through it. And you've accepted the lifelong learning lessons. You're not predicting the future. You're not living in the past. You are focused on the present moment, the here and the now. When you do that, at times the narcissist will try to rear their ugly head and enter your relationship, or enter a relationship or your life again. Now again, why are they trying to do this? There are multiple reasons. One could be a flat-out Hoover. They're trying to test you to see how much you've healed, or if you've healed, or if you've seen behind the mask and figured out they're a narcissist. Number two, they could just be seeing where you are, meaning they could just be trying to disrupt your energy, although not trying to get back into your life. And that's what many times the narcissist does. That's why many times they will send you a package in the post with an old smelly sock from 30 years ago saying, hey, when you get a chance, could you wash this? And here's my address. Just send it back. I'll be waiting for you. Something like that. Or maybe they will drop you an email and it will be about something that reminds you of them. But this email may come 5-10 years later and you're like, what? Who is this? What's going on? I'm remarried, or I have a new life and I'm doing well. And you're like, oh, I remember. It's that tiny little gnat, the tiny little mosquito that I've been swatting the whole time during this video. That's what the narcissist has become to you. And that's what they've become to me. And that's what they will become to anybody who's healed. They become microscopic. They're meaningless. They're worthless. They're hollow. They're shallow. They had to take their best shot at you. And that's what they did. And they failed. And they failed miserably. But again, at times they will try to enter your life, or to test the water, or to rattle your cage. And they usually do this when around a time when they have learned something about you. Example, graduation, a birthday, a holiday, etc., or a special time that you had with them. Who knows? But the narcissist, remember, they need energy sources. They need sources of supply. At one period, you thought you needed the narcissist. That was the trauma bond. You never needed the narcissist. You thought you did. And when you were in the trauma bond, yeah, that's the most challenging thing to break known to humankind. I get that. So that wasn't your fault either. You were placed at a destination you did not know existed, but now you know it does. And that's why you go no contact. That's why you block these people. That's why you remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. But what I'm sharing with you here is why you stay away from these people is because they never change. They don't want anything good for you. They have never wanted anything good for you. And they will say anything they possibly can. They've seen a therapist, they've found the Lord, they've been transformed, they've finally found themselves, they miss you, they actually do love you, they've changed, etc. You complete them. They'll say anything they can to worm or slither their way back into your life. Don't take the bait. Don't accept a Hoover. Don't think about the narcissist. The narcissist had the best thing in you that they will ever have, which was you. And they blew it, just like they blow every relationship. The thing is, once you get the wisdom and you understand all about the narcissistic abusive cycle, you realize you need to stay away from these people as far as you possibly can. That's why so many of us have relocated. We've restarted our lives. We've rebuilt from the ground up. When we were discarded, where the relationship ended, what did we do? We had to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps, dust ourselves off, process things, slow our lives down, and heal. And that's what we did. The narcissist did none of those things. They literally went on to a new source of supply, catapulting themselves, which they thought would be in a higher trajectory. But many times the narcissist meets another narcissist, or they meet another toxic person. Many times the narcissist thinks the grass is greener, when in fact it's burnt grass and there's nothing on the other side of the grass. You see, again, I will double down and tell you, the narcissist had the best thing in you that they will ever have. They blew it. They lost you. You're now healing. You're a different person. You're transformed. And just like that mosquito I was swatting a little while ago, that's what the narcissist has become to you, because they no longer matter, because you are either at the pinnacle of indifference or you will soon be at the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, where you flat out don't care about the narcissist. What you care about is living your best life and having all the doors of abundance open up for you and having all of the possibilities and the opportunities present themselves to you. Because when you're in that relationship with the narcissist was doing anything they could to make sure that you did not succeed, that you did not survive, that your bank account went to zero, that your friend groups were blown up, that you never saw your children again, that your hobbies you would never resume, that your health would never return. They did everything they possibly could have to destroy you. But again, they couldn't do it because you are an incredibly powerful human being. And you know it, and I know it, and the narcissist knows it. The thing is, the narcissist never thinks that anybody will heal from their relationships. The narcissist is accustomed to having Barbie dolls and Ken dolls that they can take off the shelf and play with and toy with whenever they want to. And honestly, that's what they do many times. The thing is, that's not you. You're on the channel. You're getting the wisdom. You're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you realize and you understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. And the narcissist will do what they do. Remember, what we need to do is go no contact, etc. We need to control what we can control. We need to let the narcissist in their tiny little pea brain do whatever they do, as long as they just stay away from us. So one more time, let's say the relationship ended recently for you, and you're considering doing something that you know in your heart you should not do. Example, unblocking them, driving by their house, sending them a letter, sending them an email, spying on their social media, asking people about them, what they're doing or what their whereabouts is or who the new supply is, etc. None of these things will ever serve you. They've never served anybody in the past, they won't serve you now, and they certainly won't serve anybody in the future. You see, it's a two-way street. The less the narcissist knows about you, the better off you are. And the less you know about the narcissist, the stronger you are and the better you are. Because the narcissist, when you were in that relationship with them, they had you working for them. You became the unpaid helper, the walking apology, etc. And you knew it, but you didn't know what was going on. What you did know is you kept on giving to a fault. And perhaps you were a people pleaser or a yes person, and I can assure you, you did not have boundaries. I get it. I was there. But once the relationship ends and you heal properly, in time, in your time, you will heal, then you realize, wow, that relationship changed me forever. I did not want to go through it. I would never go through it in a million years again if I had the opportunity, but it changed me. And I now see the world through a brand new set of eyes, a different set of eyes that I cannot believe I can see, because now you can detect narcissism or toxic behavior 10 miles away. You now can remove yourself from situations and or circumstances or events where perhaps before you would stay in that negative energy. You now are the educated empath, which means you reserve your empathy for those loved and trusted ones around you. You don't just drop everything you're doing and help a complete stranger out, because it doesn't serve you at times. Now, there are times it will serve you, but you don't do it every time. You do it if and when you want to. You're changed, you're different, you've grown, you've evolved, you've elevated. You are now vibrating higher than the sun, the stars, and the moon. The narcissist is vibrating on that low quagmire state, lower than your shoe. That's where they've always vibrated. They know it, I know it, and you know it. And they captured you for a period of time, and that's where you were vibrating. You were existing in the devaluation stage. It's not a fun place to be when you're trapped and you're kidnapped and you're brainwashed and you're in the trauma bond and you don't know how to get out of it. But a funny thing happened along the way. You did get out of it. You broke the bond. You're healing, or you have healed, and you understand it took a mountain of work to do it, but you did it, or you're doing it. And that's why you have to leave the narcissist in the past. That's why you have to leave them like that little mosquito that was flying around me and I was swatting it away, although trying to not hurt it, just to get it away from me. That's what you do with the narcissist. Let them try to buzz around anybody as long as it's not you, because each and every one of us had to go through this relationship to get the wisdom. This is not something you can read in a book. It's not something you can watch in a video, and it's not something you can take a class on and just, okay, I get it, I understand, I know what to do. It's not until you're in the moment with these toxic people that you realize how challenging and how life-threatening these people are. And when you actually are in the cycle for a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, 30 years, and you get out and you're in one piece, and you can look back in retrospect and say, I'm so fortunate to be out of that relationship, and you pause and you take a deep breath, then you can say, oh my gosh, I did it. I actually beat this, and I am an amazing human being. I cannot get over how much work I put into myself and how different I am and how galvanized I am and how changed and transformed I am, because that's a fact. That's who you are. That's who I am. You're at a place that you never thought even existed, but then again, when you're in the relationship, you didn't even know the narcissistic devaluation stage or the cycle existed. So you went from living in the everyday fog, just going about life, doing what you're doing, to going right into the narcissistic relationship. And that's where you were spun around in the deep end of destruction, in the cesspool of manipulation, and in the tornado of abuse. And then you got out of it, whether you were discarded or you ended it yourself, and you had to heal, and you did it. And when you finally healed properly and you really looked around, you said, oh my goodness, what a journey. Was that a real experience? Did that really happen? Yes and yes. And now you're here. And now you slow your life down, you realize how fortunate you are. And again, you wouldn't go through that again in a million years, but you had to go through it. There was no other way. So now when you look back, you can say to yourself, yeah, I want nothing to do with those people. Not with them, the flying monkeys, extended family members, friends from back then, colleagues, coworkers. They can all just do whatever they do, just stay away from me. That's what we say. Because now we've elevated so high to a place where few are, but many are waiting for you to arrive, including myself. And that's called the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Remember, be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. If this is your first video you're ever consuming, you're going to have some work ahead of you, a lot of work, but you're going to have to slow things down, process things, eventually go no contact, and realize that the narcissist is not who you thought they were. They're a toxic person who wanted to take from you. If this is perhaps a video that you've been on the channel for years and you understand narcissism inside and out, and you're getting a touch up, or you're staying in the community and paying it forward, God bless you. Continue to pay it forward. Make sure your cup is full and continue to have boundaries and understand that you are an amazing human being. I love you more than you'll ever know, and continue to pay it forward, because at one point, remember, you were new in the community. At one point, you didn't know what narcissism was, and now you do. So if you have the ability and your cup is full, really, please try and pay it forward and share your insight and your wisdom with the community. I love you all. God bless you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Enjoy, you guys. I love you. Bye.